Hiya folks, and welcome to From Amateur to Expert, where we talk about work, wealth, and how to become the top name in your industry. First off, what's up with the white shirt? What is this new devilry? Well, that's actually what we're speaking about today. In a sea of black t-shirt videos, a white t-shirt stands out. And how do you stand out in what you do? Here's our chain of logic. If you position yourself as an expert in your industry, the business, the deals, and the media start coming to you. You gain unique access within your industry, and the nature of what you do changes. You become remunerated on a higher level. To accomplish that, you have to communicate with your market and position yourself as a well-known expert. In the last video, we spoke about some simple ways to make your messaging more effective and to get through more effectively. If you haven't seen that one, please do check it out in the link. Now we go one step further. How do you make sure your message is noticed? How do you make sure that it gets through? And we're going to look at this in a couple of different ways. Whether you are an author proposing a manuscript to a publisher, whether you have created something like a YouTube channel, or whether you're delivering live presentations. What are the packaging ideas that make your presentation come alive? Let's start with the book. And the simple lesson here is that the formatting of your submission makes the world of difference. If you're planning to position yourself as an expert via the writing of a book, which is an exceptionally good idea, start off by going onto a publisher's website and reading their submission guidelines. I have an audio guide to how to become a published author called The Complete Tiny Little Guide to Becoming an Author, in which I beg the listening audience to pay attention to formatting guidelines. It's such a simple thing, but consider, if you're an editor and you receive some 30 manuscript submissions in a day, you have to have a shorthand process, a quick way of getting rid of, say, 29 of them, maybe even 30 per day. So the first thing they do is they check out the basic formatting. Have you followed simple guidelines provided on their website? And that's most of the aspirant manuscripts already knocked into the dust. Make sure that it's not yours. And in a personal conversation with my editor at a large publishing house, I discovered an interesting insight. I asked the question, are you able to tell in advance which manuscripts are likely to be published as books? And she said, after a few decades in the industry, it is extremely easy. She said, we can generally tell within the first paragraph whether or not this is going to fly. And she said, more than anything else, it's an author's ability to get to the heart of the thing quickly. She says if you can discover the premise and the promise to the reader within that first paragraph, if the issue is tightly framed and set up within that opening idea, she says it's got a very good chance of going ahead. Most authors apparently do not do that. It takes them a long time to waffle their way up to the heart of the matter. If you can get to the heart of the matter quickly, with good, simple formatting, the chances are you're going to get through. YouTube is a little different. Although the same rules do apply for your opening delivery, in other words, do you frame the issue, do you get to the heart of the matter very quickly, there's a step that comes before that, and we might call that the formatting of YouTube. How does it look? Do you pay attention to your thumbnails? Within the YouTube Creative Studio, you have the option of either just choosing one of the arbitrary thumbnails that it generates by itself, or you can go and create a thumbnail, often simply using something like PowerPoint or a graphic design program of some kind. If you pay a little attention to that thumbnail and you show something attractive, something bold, something that stands out, you're likely to do that much better. The research also tends to show that the how-to videos seem to do well. So keep it very simple and straightforward. It must be easy to get what it is that your video is about. Say for instance you have a channel that talks about cooking, baking, and you're talking about how to cook the perfect souffle, or how to bake the perfect souffle. The chances then are that your title should be How to Bake a Perfect Souffle. What you don't want to do is get so creative and so fantastical that people can't quite tell what you're getting at. Souffleosity, getting in touch with your inner puffiness. It's fun, but it may not actually do what you hope it will do. If folks are searching for you not based on already subscribing to your YouTube channel, but based on the idea that they are looking for how to cook a perfect souffle, then a straightforward explanation is going to do the job a lot better. What you show in your thumbnail also goes a long way toward persuading people to click on it. So ask yourself what your audience is looking for. Are they looking for something that looks very professional, very evocative, very strange and unusual? What's the thing that might make them go, here's the one that I want to click on? And in fact, a very simple way of doing the research on this is go and type it into YouTube yourself. What do the competing videos look like? Which one would you click on and why? Is there text in the thumbnail of the video that you like? Or is it something about the smiling face of the presenter that you like? Is there something a bit more artistic, like they've done an evocative shot of a wooden table and all the implements lying there ready to be used, and something about that just looks very romantic? Is that the sort of thing that you would go for? The more attention you pay to your thumbnail, the more likely it is that people will click on it. Interestingly enough, combative titles seem to work as well. This is another one that I learned from the editors at my publishing house. They point out that, contrary to most authors' belief that they need to play it safe, the opposite is often much more effective. Now, I will say this, I'm no fan of the expletives and swear words in titles of books. I want that fad to die. I think that's had its time. People have managed to pull tongues and swear and show us the middle finger from the shelf of a bookstore for long enough, and I can't wait for that fad to die out. However, a combative title that attacks an idea or takes a strong stance is actually quite attractive and does work well. It works well for the cover of books, it works well for the headline in an essay or an article, and it works well on the title of your YouTube video. So don't shy away from that. And finally, in the world of presenting, which of course applies to YouTube videos as well, how do you make sure that people pay attention to your message right up front? I'm a big fan of the power of storytelling, and there's much research to back up the idea that telling stories that make your points come alive can be extremely powerful. However, one of the mistakes that people make is they say, I'd like to tell you a story. Don't do that, just go straight in. You can tell a story about yourself in which you say, in 1987, I was facing a challenge. Or you could go into an audience-centered story, a hypothetical one, in which you say, imagine yourself walking into an auditorium about to deliver a presentation. And that can be exceptionally powerful. Now, what I tend to enjoy doing is to set up a series of promises early in a presentation, whether it's live on stage or in a YouTube video, and then go into a story. So, for example, I might tell the audience that over the next 60 minutes, you're going to discover how to this, you're going to change that, you're going to learn the following. Now, imagine the scenario. You walk into an auditorium and this is what you see. So I've delivered the promise up front, and in doing so, I have framed the issue. I have given a series of promises about what they are about to get, to learn, to receive, and then I go into storytelling mode. And that can be a great way to make sure that people pay attention. That paying attention thing is quite interesting. If you've ever delivered live presentations, or in fact if you've been in an audience when a boring presentation is being delivered, you might have noticed this. When a presenter is delivering dry stats, you'll tend to see the audience drift off. When do they look back up again? It's when the presenter goes into storytelling mode. He or she says, so the other day, and all of a sudden everyone looks up. It's amazing how powerful that is. Finally, here's a way of making quantum leaps in getting your message recognized. Again, whether it's books, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's live presentations. Go and study what you don't like. Or in other words, go and watch 5 or 6 videos on your topic, just the first minute will do, and ask yourself, what don't I like about this? Why does it capture my imagination? Or why does it fail to? Why have I watched the first minute and just kind of tuned out? You only have to watch the first minute on 5 different videos, and that's only 5 minutes worth of viewing on your topic matter, and you will very quickly see the themes, the patterns, what works, what doesn't, and how you could do it just that much better. If you're an author, walk into a bookstore, pick up 5 similar books, and read the opening paragraph. Do they grab you? Do they take you on a journey? How do they frame the issue and get to the heart of the matter quickly? It will take you less than 10 minutes to go and pick up 5 books and read the first paragraph. That's not a lot of research, but doing the research can change your career trajectory. If you see what works and if you can tell what doesn't, and you do something even better, your message will break through. As a result of that, you will position yourself as an expert, and that changes everything for you. The deals start coming to you. The business starts coming to you. People start to say things like, you know who you should talk to about that? And your name appears at the end of that sentence. Just for the fun of it, take a moment to tell us about a big communications breakthrough that you've achieved. When did you go viral, get a book published, get a show, or in some way get in front of an audience for the first time? Mine was based on Own Your Industry, how to position yourself as an expert, and the day Penguin finally accepted that one, which was a major breakthrough for me. What was yours, and what do you attribute it to? Won't you tell the viewers as well so that we can share some useful information and help to build up one another's careers?